The amount of people in the spiritual and self-development community that are talking about forgiveness and have a misconception about what forgiveness actually means is pissing me off. Forgiveness does not mean to accept or condone bad behavior. That's why we have boundaries. Boundaries are completely different from forgiveness. They are needed once you forgive, but they are two separate things. And there's this woman that I came across on my For You page, and I'm going to play the video right here because it really pisses me off. I cannot be clear enough about it. So I will show it to you as well, and I will reflect on it.
Is forgiveness always healthy?
No. You know how I feel about that. Hell no. And I'm so tired of this fetishization of forgiveness. There's a voluminous psychological literature, spiritual literature that shows it's good. But then there's all those studies on the shelf that people don't always pull off that show that when forgiveness is repeatedly offered in situations where the harmful behavior is repeated, the forgiver actually experiences negative psychological consequences.
Exactly. That's the whole fucking point. It's not about the forgiveness, it's about accepting that bad behavior time after time after time, which then creates negative consequences for the person that has forgiven. There's a very, very clear difference. Forgiveness, by definition, means to give. For comes from Latin, to. Giveness, give, is also Latin, give, to give back. It literally means to give back the pain, the grief, the anger, the resentment, back to the person, back to the universe, back to God, whatever it is. As long as it's no longer in your body, in your system. That does not mean that you are accepting negative behavior. Forgiveness is step 1. Step 2 is set those damn boundaries. That's love. That's forgiveness. As long as we are holding on and we are not forgiving, we are literally poisoning ourselves, our own being, our own body, because of something that happened in the past. It is already gone. It happened in the past. And yes, it has effect on us in the now, as long as we have not forgiven. Forgiven is a transmutation of darkness into light. And that doesn't mean that you accept whatever it is that happened or that they did. That you say, okay, fine, you can do it again. I will stay in your life. And then they do it again and you forgive and you accept it again. No. That's you just having poor boundaries. That's you not recognizing your own worth. It's you missing one very important step within this forgiveness cycle. But sometimes something happens that's so unforgivable that all of your being is saying no. Because once I forgive this person, I am accepting that behavior, or it makes it okay, or they need to suffer the way that I did. And I had this personally. I had to move through a whole massive chapter of forgiveness because I was hurt. It felt like when I was younger, as if the universe, life, had forgotten about us. And I could see the pain in the people around me, the pain in myself. And no matter how deeply I prayed or wished or hoped or was reaching out to something greater than myself, life wasn't showing up for me. And I held such resentment for it all. And I couldn't let go of it. Because my inner child felt like it needed to prove to the universe how angry it was. And how much life fucked me up. But that's only hurting me. Life doesn't care. Life is just doing its own thing. As long as I am holding on to this anger and this resentment, I am giving life power over me. And if this is with a specific person, as long as you are holding on to the pain, to the grief, to the resentment, to the anger of what happened between you and that person, what they did to you, you are giving them power over you. It's still influencing your life. It is still hurting you. You are still not free from it. And if that person genuinely had bad intentions, then you are giving them what they want. The biggest fuck you that you can give that person is to forgive them. Not for them. They don't even have to know that you've forgiven them. It's for you, so that you are just walking on with life, free and alive and joyful, connected to your soul, grateful to be here. We have to forgive. It's not a bad thing, but we have to also set boundaries. So if a person did something to you that would be unforgivable, doesn't mean to actually not forgive that person. That means to forgive that person and set a boundary. And say, I am no longer holding this pain or resentment or anger or whatever. And bye-bye. You can live your life somewhere else. I don't want you here. You are not welcome here. And you can deal with whatever it is that you need to deal with. But we are all one. We are all souls, just experiencing this human experience. And they have their own soul journey that they have to go through. And if they are inflicting such bad things that it's unforgivable, they have to go through a massive internal journey. And it's not easy. And you can even have a little bit of joy about that. If you want to live in that resentment a little bit, just make it a big fuck you to forgive them, so that you are no longer holding on to anything and they don't have power over you anymore. And have a little bit of joy that their life is going to get harder and harder because they are holding on to all of this shit. It's poison. We need to release, we need to let go. Anything that feels heavy, that is wearing you down, is taking your energy, is not worth holding on to. It's not serving you. And it pisses me off that so many people of authority are talking about forgiveness as if it's condoning negative behavior. When in truth, forgiveness is the core of what we need to do in order to set ourselves free and to become fully alive and aligned with our soul. And to walk the path of love. I also feel called to read a little bit about what I wrote down. As I was moving through my anger and resentment towards the universe, I had to forgive. And it was really difficult for me at certain points. I had a whole conversation with my higher self and my pain, my inner child that was hurting. And I want to bring you through it so that you can see the process of forgiveness. At some point, the chains I put on myself switched from pure restrictive to almost a comfortable hug. I learned to be so okay with it and embrace it so much that I attached myself to these chains. I felt like I needed them to feel safe. But safety comes from within. It comes from the way that you talk to yourself, how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, how you set boundaries, how you accept all of yourself, and how you hold space for yourself and all of the emotions that arise. It's not something external, and definitely not the chains that'll keep you safe. You're afraid of yourself. You are afraid that if you let you out, that you will hurt the people around you, because that's what you've been taught. You've always learned to play small, dim yourself and your light, because otherwise it's dangerous for the people you love. But I'm done playing small, and I forgive myself for holding on to those chains. They've become my home, and it's okay. You've learned to love them instead of hate them. And fuck, that's so beautiful. Like, whoa, that needs so much strength and courage. But it's time to let them go now. It's time to direct that strength and courage to the things you actually want. You're finally free, my love. Stop looking back and holding on to those chains that made you feel safe in the past. Open up your heart and let your heart and soul be your new home. Let your heart be your safety, the place you can always come back to. Become your own home. You need to forgive, my love. But how can I? The pain in my loved ones isn't gone. They still are held back by everything. Then what better revenge to the universe than to be fucking happy? To prove to it that it cannot break you. To not let yourself be held back by the universe and what it has done in the past, but to forgive it. The universe might not care whether you forgive or not. But forgiveness is for you. It's to free yourself. Don't give the universe its satisfaction by holding on to it. Forgive it, even if you can't fully trust it yet. just come back to your heart. This is just a very small part of a very long conversation that I had with myself. But why I'm sharing this is because it really beautifully showcases the process of forgiveness. When you move into forgiveness, there are so many parts inside of you that will resist it, that will fight it, that will hold on to it and say, no, it's not safe to forgive. It is not safe to let go of this because then this person will win. But that's not true. You holding on to it is making you lose. We need to forgive in order to be free. We need to release the power that these things have over us. Not because they weren't real. Not because it didn't fucking hurt. Not because you didn't deserve better. But simply because holding on to it is fucking destroying you from the inside out. And you know it. And I feel this so deeply because I have lived through it time after time. I have this little part inside of me that loves resentment. And resentment is a very interesting feeling to me because it doesn't really make sense to my brain. Yet my feeling is very, very resentful. If someone hurts me or life hurt me, and especially if it happens repeatedly, there's this resentment that starts to build. But what resentment is actually showing me is my lack of boundaries. Not that I shouldn't forgive it. Me not forgiving it is me giving it power over me. It's the boundaries. And even when it comes to life and the universe, if you feel resentment toward it because it never showed up for you, and therefore you cannot trust it, therefore you cannot soften, therefore you feel like you always have to take care of yourself, carry the weight of the universe, not just life, but the universe on your shoulders. That's because of a lack of boundaries. And how that can look like, and forgiveness probably, but once you've forgiven, it's boundaries. Because what those boundaries can look like towards the universe is to say, stop, I am gonna forgive you so that I can take my power back. I'm giving too much of my energy, of my life force, of my power to you. Even if it's not an actual person. But that is what's happening. It's all a relation between us and the external. And we can also set those boundaries. And it's more of an internal experience. It's less of a, I need you to stay out of my life or I'm going to walk away. It's a relation within you and the universe with life. And this is also one of the things that I move through with my soul alignment system because it's so important. If you move through this spiritual awakening, through this journey of healing yourself, coming home to yourself, reconnecting with your soul, you have to learn how to forgive. You have to open your heart to it. If you don't do that, you will never be free. You will never be alive, like fully alive. You will never receive it. We have to forgive because there's so much that has hurt us. And if we hold on to it all, it's too much tension. Nothing can come in. We are too full. So if you want to receive the life that you desire, if you want to feel free, if you want to feel alive, if you want to be in your potential and you want to align with your soul, you have to learn how to forgive. And with that, I think I'm going to end it. If anything in this video resonated with you and you want some support or some help within this whole journey, within your own healing journey, your spiritual awakening. Hey, my name is Felicia, founder of Erovira, and I help people navigate their spiritual journey, stepping into their full potential and becoming truly alive and truly free. So if you want any support on that journey and you are walking that right now, there's a link below that you can click on and you can apply to work with me. And I want to invite you, I want to challenge you just for a little bit to open your heart enough to feel what it would feel like to genuinely forgive. Just for a little bit, to feel the difference between you holding on to it and you forgiving. Because if you do that and you can feel the difference, there's not really a choice left anymore other than to forgive. because you will realize that it's poisoning you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps you shift the perspective on forgiveness, because it's so important, and it really, really pisses me off the amount of misinformation that is around this whole concept. So I really hope that this helped and spreads a little bit more of what it actually is. And thank you for being here. Like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment if there's any questions that you have, any topics that you would like to have explored next time. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this and you want to learn more about the spiritual journey and how to become free and fully alive. Okay, hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.